All right, we're coming at you live once again, man. We had technical issues with the first show for a few minutes, man, but we're going to come back to it live again. Hopefully, you guys are still tuning in and hanging with us. If not, go tell your friends to get back. We'll be back on the line again. You know, hopefully we won't have any more technical difficulties. But you know what? That just add on to the week I've had so far anyway. So that's just par for the course. So I'm just going to keep on kicking it, going to keep on moving, going to keep on grinding, going to keep on pushing. Can you dig it? Man, let's go. All right, Mr. Whiting, I think you were making a point, my brother, before we got so rudely cut off. You did. And I'll let you go on, you know what I'm saying, try to surmise that point we were saying. And just to catch up, listeners, we were talking about, are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? And then also, how do you know the difference? You know, and so Mr. Whiting was making a particular point before Mr. Vince's Booker cricket phone went out on us. So we had to, we had to catch him back, do some phone calling, try to connect with the lines and everything, make sure the chipmunks wasn't shooting on the acorn line, putting acorns on the line. We just try to get this thing going, live radio, it happens, but sometimes just with the frustration of life and just the things that happen in life, you want something to go smoothly, but it is what it is. Straight from the streets, it is what it is, Mr. Whiting, go ahead with your point, my brother.
Already, man. Yeah, man. Like you said, man, we're going live, man. It's straight from the heart anyways, and stuff like this happens. But, I was kind of making the point of the institution itself didn't change me, when I was in that situation, the institution inside of me, changed. So, and I was started reading this stuff, gravitating to all these different books, and it just things was awakening in me that was always there dormant, but I had to tap into that. So that gave me a lot of time to think about myself, reflect on my life and where I wanted to go. But as I was saying, I had met this brother. We used to do music together, and Vincent know that brother I'm talking about, named Raheem. He's just a good brother. And he was just cool, laid back, a little older than me. I was like 21 at the time. And then we just started kicking it, doing music. But I noticed that how he carried himself, it's like he was just had this peace about himself. So that in this midst of chaos, in this environment, that was like a breath of fresh air. Somebody with their head level and just was chill, man. A lot of stuff didn't bother him. So I started hanging around and asking all these different questions. And that's what kind of led me down the path I was to Islam, man. I wasn't even thinking about religion. I always believed in God. That was far away from my mind. But I was going through a change in my own self that I was tired. They say you got to be tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I was tired of that lifestyle I was living, man, which got me in there. And I still was participating in it, and it was always drama. It was always problems, fighting, and always just a bunch of nonsense. And I just started maturing, really. And I was around that brother, and that's what kind of led me down the path. And once I got down that path, I decided to change, and I became Muslim. And I ain't looked back since, bro. And then it inspired others. So that's kind of was the life-changing thing for me. And that's what helps me start looking at solutions even within my own self and want to help other people once I start myself. So I'll stop it right there. And then
okay. Mike, I can dig. Well, I don't know if you can pass the mic to Vincent because I just saw where he was calling back in again. The phone dropped. So whatever reason, he's on some cricket lines, some prime coal lines or something, man. We can't get this show together tonight for nothing. You know what I mean, though, because of the phone issues or whatever the case may be. But to speak to that point, though, you're right about that, man. So it took that negative situation in order for you to see more clearly than what you saw before. So one will look at prison as a problem. For you, to a degree, it was a solution to some of the things that you were searching for in your life. And even to this day, right? You're still using some of those lessons that you learned in prison versus some people go in there not really knowing a whole lot, just first offense, whatever. They get caught up in the wrong crowd with the wrong people, and then they get out using all those negative things that they learned that was in there because you still was in a negative environment. So again, I think it's all about perspective and how you choose to use what you're presented with, right? You know what I mean, though? Because a hammer in my hand may not do much, but a hammer in a master carpenter hand, you can get a masterpiece. You feel what I'm saying? It's all about how you're going to use that tool and the skill of the person holding that tool, right, and their experience level as far as the tool that you heard. So I mean, that's a beautiful thing, though, man, that you were able to grab that even in that negative situation, that concrete jungle, if you will, right? You were able to gain some insight that, again, that's helping you to this day be the man that you are, right? So again, prison on the surface was a part of the problem, right? But then it offered a solution. So again, I think we got to figure out, we can throw blanket the word problem on a lot of stuff. We can throw the blanket word solution on a bunch of stuff. But at the same time, I still think it's all about perspective, because one person will say, well, you know what, that doesn't work. And another person saying, well, that's what I need in order for it to work for me. So I think tomato, right? Everybody has their own way of doing things, their own belief in what they feel. And so it's like, what's important to you? What makes you tick? What's going on in your mind and heart as far as what you're trying to do. So again, are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? Do you have some people? You have some people that just truly focus on solutions all the time. All they focus on is they get this solved. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. Right. But then you have other people that are saying, okay, you know what? Because you're in such a rush to get this done, that may create a problem. Right. Because you haven't went through the total process. So again, man, I think it's all about that mindset, man, and then tackling that and realize, catch people where they are. Right? Not where you want them to be and not where you hope them to be. We got to catch them where they are, because I think sometimes that becomes a part of the problem, because we don't see people where they are. We see people where we want them to be, or where we hope they be, or where we wish they be. But guess what? That person is who they are, period. Nothing you're going to do or nothing you're going to say is going to change that. And that can be a part of the problem, right? Because you steady coming in wanting to change somebody who God already made them who they're going to be. Now, if you can't deal with that person that God made, I suggest you move around. Right. If it's too difficult for you to deal with that, because again, that's another part of the problem, because, hey, I love you for who you are. I care about you for who you are, rather than you ain't this, you ain't this, you ain't that. Well, I tell you what, go find that. Go find what you're looking for, because you know what I mean? Because that nagging right there, that negativity, that's a problem. Right? That's a problem. And nobody wants to show up and say, you know what, you don't love me for me. You don't care about me for me. It's a form of who I am. And again, that's a huge problem, I think, especially in relationships, right? That people try to change an individual and then I think I said this before. I think they should call marriages or relationships compromises, right? Because at one point in time, somebody is dealing with something that they may not want to deal with, or whoever. Right? Whoever it is. But at the same time, though, is that a problem to them? It may not be a problem to you. Or it may be a problem to you, but may not necessarily be a problem to them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just perspective, man. Perspective. I wish Vincent would be on for this one right here, man. But again, his phone keep going out back and forth. We got to do a rebound show with him on the next time and have him do a straight from the street segment coming straight off the show. Before we get into any topic or anything, let him do it straight from the street segment and try to make it up, since his Primeco phone is tripping.
That's right. I want to say too to what you said, bro. Like you said, my good friend Marcus Blue, he always say sometimes we forget we was young. You know what I mean? He always say that a lot. And when we have a tendency to forget this, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
That we young and then we was 20. So how was we thinking? And then even my situation. And then me and him made a point too about. When I was 20, I was in jail. You know what I mean? So you don't even know how you would have been if you was on the outside. But I also want to say that when you was talking about catching somebody where they at, and it's just planting seeds and setting an example. It's not. That's all you got to do. Pretty much try to set an example, a good example, and plant them seeds. Because seeds just don't come up out the ground. I mean, it takes time for it to grow. So, then you will see the fruits of your labor. Any farmer knows this, bro. That, you don't get a harvest or a good crop overnight. It takes time. It takes labor.
Because have you seen, I don't know, maybe I ain't been around all seeds, but I'm not sure if you can just throw a seed on the ground and it just do something. Right? That's
right. Man, they said that I was listening to this brother. He was explaining how he said it take 100 years, bro, for an olive tree to grow. And so if that is the case, he was pointing out that the person who planted this seed, they won't even be around more than likely that to see this olive tree come into a full effect.
Right.
Bro, that's powerful. You know what I mean? That's powerful. And we say this about plants and trees and seeds, and it's the same thing. That's why this analogy is used with people. Even in, the biblical language and, in other scripture language, you'll see, they talk about Jesus, he always talk about the harvest, and even the Island Brothers had a song about the harvest. So, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this idea of planting this seed, we even call, having our children seeds, planting this seed, right? And so a lot of times we don't know, like grandparents, you start getting older, you see, generation after generation. So this is the hope. This is the hope. This is what we're saying. In basketball, they even call it seeds in college. You know what I mean? So this idea of planting this seed and being patient, because sometimes we won't be around. If we live long enough to see our own children, we might not be around to see our great-great-grandchildren. But we know this is what we're doing this for. We're looking forward to this, and trying to reap a good harvest, meaning, instilling good things in them and good morals in them. But we have a tendency to forget, and we become judgmental when we sit behind these four walls, bro. Whether we're in a masjid or
easy
a church.
to do.
Right, because if you're not out doing the work and you're not relating to people, you can lose focus, and then you start pointing the finger and say they not doing this and that and not value that person for who they are. So that's kind of what I try to practice, as valuing a person. I know where I've been, but where I was is not where I'm at today. And that's how we got to look at people, whether it's jobs, whether them maturing, you know what I'm saying, spiritually, mentally, and physically. You can't look at the person. What you see today is not going to be that person tomorrow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you got to look at the potential.
But what if it is, though? What do you do with that, though? What if they are today in a particular way, then tomorrow, mm-hmm. same way, next day, same mm-hmm. way? What if they are, though? I mean, would you say mm-hmm. Just hasn't got it, hadn't received it, or just, mm-hmm. you know what I mean? Those, what would you say to that, though, right? Because we, mm-hmm. I'm sure you may know some people as well that just like right there, like, okay, come on. It's right there, and it's like almost like that light bulb moment, right? It's like, okay, come on, man, I want you to get it. Come on, let's get it. Let's go. And you may, okay, no, I'm not going to do it. So I guess what do you do with that? Because we're definitely in a society where patience is not on the forefront, right? It's not really advertised as a thing to do and a thing to be, because it's a microwave type mentality that we deal with.
That's right.
So what do we deal with those who were, at a certain age, they don't have it yet. They're just not getting it. Do you still exercise patience and understanding, as if you would want if you weren't getting it, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like I said, though, man, as you said, a perfect point. Sometimes we forget what we were, but at the same time is that, because we want to see better on other areas, I think sometimes we come across as, I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't have any issues. I didn't have anything going on, because we're just so, hey, I want you to get it. I want you to get it. Okay, that's cool. But it's all in due time, because, again, who sets time? Okay, just because you're tired of it doesn't mean that, the universe is tired of it. Like I said, when God get ready to move, he's going to move, right? Whatever that move was going to be, just like he moved in your life or in my life, right? When he decided to move. So I think that's a good understanding, though, man, that we have when we're dealing with people, especially with motivational speaker and education and motivational speaking and financial empowerment, education and stuff like that, because you're dealing with the mindset to where you coming with people with some information and maybe like, okay, you might well be speaking Chinese arithmetic, man, but then you just catch them where they are. Okay, you know what? This here you do this. Here you do that. Here you do that. And I especially have to work on that because I talk really fast, man. I talk fast, mm-hmm. bro. And the reason why I tell people I talk fast because my thoughts go so quick, I think I'm going to forget it and not get it out in time, right? So I just be gone with it. And so I have to purposely and mindfully slow myself down, slow my mind mm-hmm. down, slow my thought mm-hmm. process down, because I get so excited about sharing something that's important to me, right? And because it's important to me, it may not be important to the next person. But I can maybe bring some importance to it if I slow down, articulate it in a way to draw interest, right? Rather than he just talking fast and trying to get over, right?